viewers, and welcome to another episode of Talk the Torque with me, Desh. I am so excited. We are all the way here in Secunda at Mercedes, and joining me today is Elizna Delport, the sales manager at United Motors Mercedes-Benz Secunda. So viewers, a leader is a mix of a lot of things, but first and foremost, it's about having faith in your beliefs. You can't expect others to consider you a leader unless you have solid faith in your ideas. And once it's there, you build on it by being a good communicator and listening to others, setting examples, and by putting your best foot forward and not giving up. Leadership is all about being passionate about what you do and having confidence in yourself and your followers, whom you have to motivate and inspire. Elizna is all of this and so much more, and this is probably why she has been nominated for the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards 2022, and I cannot wait to unravel or talk about Elizna throughout this year, because we've had some very challenging situations that was placed in front of us within the last couple of weeks. However, you're going to learn more about her as time goes on. So let's welcome Elizna, and as always, this interview is proudly brought to you by none other than Suriti Solutions. Hi Elizna.
Hi Desh, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for inviting us to your beautiful dealership here in Secunda.
Welcome, and I'm glad you guys are safe and here, and I'm looking forward to our interview today.
Absolutely. I think it's long overdue, don't you? And we will share with our viewers as the months pass why it was so long overdue. But yeah, we're very happy to have come out here and experience your world. So we're going to start off by saying congratulations for your nomination.
Thank you.
I think it's well deserved, and you're going to tell our viewers why it is that you think you actually deserve this nomination, because you did accept the nomination, so you have confidence in yourself firstly, but secondly, you've been in the industry for some time. So tell our viewers where all this began.
So my story is actually funny. I went to study theology, and I decided that was not for me. And on my way, I was working for friends, and I had to go buy parts from the local Mercedes in Piet Retief. And that time I still paid with a check.
Oh.
And then my phone rang, and it was the dealership, and I'm like, oh, maybe I made a mistake on the check, because I mean, it's quite a lot of money and all of that. And then they're like, no, aren't you interested? We're looking for a F&I and someone to come do our admin. Aren't you interested? And I'm like, yeah, no, but I didn't even know what it was.
You didn't know what an F&I was.
I just said no, I mean, because I wanted to do something again. I originally started with BCom Law and Accounting at Potch that time. So I couldn't really decide what I wanted to do with my life, because I get bored very easily, and I think that's why I love the motor industry. Every day is different and a new challenge. So and then I went for the interview. Well, I went home and I was on the computer and I Googled what is the F&I, and I'm like, okay, this looks like I like numbers and stuff, so I think let's do this. So I went to see them. They gave me an offer, and in June 2011 I started off with Stucky Motors. And as life goes, you obviously want to move forward in life, and I met someone in Secunda. So after 2 years, it's like, okay, he works for Sassel, so it's not like he's gonna move. I have to move here. But my passion was the brand. I love the brand, so I wanted to stay with the brand. So I applied everywhere. I couldn't find a F&I position at that time, and there was only a sales position at Mitsubishi. And I'm like, okay, well, let's try it. And I was about, I started in May, and December I moved over to Mercedes-Benz as sales. And then my journey started, and I'm not one day looking back. I love my job. It's yeah, it's so exciting. You meet the best people every day. I mean, some of the people I met is like my best friends today.
Yeah,
So,
like
yeah.
me. I mean,
Exactly. It's like you meet people. Yeah.
So, but what do you enjoy most about your brand?
The best. It is the best or nothing. It's like I've been, they call it was my sabbatical. I went to work for another brand for 2.5 months. Actually, after a month and a half, I told them, I'm sorry, it's great cause, really, but it's like, I just can't, when I tell a person like it's the best car, in my heart I don't believe it. So since I was a little girl, so I only have one brother, and so we used to play with cars. So I used to choose all the little Mercs and he the other brands. Yeah, Paul, which now today is my DP, we grew up in the same street in Barberton. They owned Croxon's Garage in Barberton. So in Verdoring Street. So we used to walk there always, and then I see all these cars, and I mean my parents knew his parents, and that was just, there wasn't a better car for me. It was like there was all these cars, but from day one, Mercedes-Benz was my favorite car. And yeah, I just got such a big passion for the brand. And I'm, yeah, even that day when I got back, I got into a C200 with AMG spec. And I always say, I don't know if it's a woman thing, but I get this feeling when I get into a car, and I don't get it in any other car. I can, and I mean, we drove a lot of cars. Our customers got amazing cars, but there's just nothing like a Mercedes-Benz for me.
So what do you enjoy though most about your role?
To inspire people, I've got a big passion for women still. So I always couldn't understand my whole journey, how my life works out, and yeah, so I love working with people. I'm a people person. So for me, every day to meet people and to hear their stories and to tell your story, and then you always just get hope. So I love and to teach people also like what I know. I mean, and I'm a very curious person, so I want to know everything. So I basically know everything, how it works in the dealership, and I think workshops, sometimes I work on their nerves because I go in there and I want to see, because I need to understand things. So I'm always everywhere seeing yours. So and I just love the people I'm working with, and And
who inspires you? I know we had a chat off air. Your mom is like your hugest fan, but who is it that inspires you through your journey?
Well, definitely still my mother. I mean, I just realized through my last process and everything that happened, and then I've got friends. I always say, people, you've got something that you can learn from every person and how they deal with stuff. But I've got a very good friend, and Chanel. She used to work at Newville Mercedes, and when we met, we did Seaman together, and she was a great inspiration for me, because when I became the sales manager, it was literally I was like the trainee sales manager, although I used to order all the cars and do all the stuff, because all the other managers came from other brands. So I was doing a lot of the work, but not the physical stuff, like dealing with other the salespeople and so. And and then I've got a good friend in the Merc industry. We like a family. So even like Gustav in Bloemfontein, he's there. If I'm like sitting with a situation, I just pick up the phone and I'm like, this is the situation, and I'll always get 2 or 3 people and say, what do you think? And not to make a decision immediately and just get, but Chanel helped me a lot, because she's also very organized and stuff. So she sent me, so I think when I became sales manager, I'm a process driven person, so there wasn't really processes. So I started writing all these processes for the dealership, but she helped me so much, and she's like, you do this. So definitely in the motor industry, she was
one of your inspirations. And what would you have changed in terms of your work, or just, as you said, processes and even attitude? What would you have changed through your journey in terms of the way you handled situations?
I think I made a lot of mistakes in my life. I handled a lot of stuff wrong. Sometimes the pressure becomes quite a lot, and dealing with your everyday life and going through relationships and stuff that happened through my life. I mean, in 2016 I lost my dad of cancer, and it was a difficult time for me, but me and Sonia always say that's what keeps me going, because it's like, this is my safe place. I want to come to work, and I want to, and now again with everything that happened, is everybody's like, oh, you're back at work, you're back, and I'm like, yes, I was back at work, because that's just where I feel I've got a purpose. I'm doing something. I can't just sit at home and not do something. So yes, I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned a lot. So putting yourself in a position, and it's not always, and my biggest issue is I'm a perfectionist, and it's like, if I've got an idea in my head and I want everybody to do it like that. I mean, it's like small things. It's like, don't bring a dealer file and then it's not aligned properly. It's like, I totally lose it. It's like small things, but I had to learn to, like, everybody is not the same, so, and you need to relax, but it's still difficult. And even if that park a car a little skew or something, it's like, but Clint from our AMG, he always say the first impression's lost. So I'm like, how you park your cars outside, everything, it's important, because that's the first impression. If a person drives into the dealership, that's what they see and that's what they remember. So
first impressions last, definitely. And so you obviously are a huge champion for everything that we do on our platforms, which entails all our workshops and the women empowerment initiatives. Why are you such a champion for everything that we are doing?
Definitely, because I think women was always like seen as the weaker species, although I think we are stronger, because we have to survive with so much more. And I love seeing women succeeding and growing, and for me, it's like sometimes maybe a little bit people think I'm like, oh, what's wrong with you? Because I am not married. And I like, if I can't do it, I do it myself, and I go Google, but I will make it work. I mean, it's like, but just to see that, and I still believe that there is stuff that men needs to do, and we do need, and we were created for that. But I love the fact that today women can also stand up and say, we can also do that. So I know you get women that's mechanics, which is not my passion at all. Although I want to know how they do it, it's not something I want to. I don't like my hands getting dirty. But but I love the fact that women can also start doing things, and that they no longer, that we can be equal, and that we can show them we are much more than just
a pretty
cleaning
face.
A pretty face, cleaning a house, everything. That's a very important thing to me. I always said people must never buy a car from me, because it's like, oh, she's a lady, let's try that. I'm like, if you buy a car from me, you buy the car from me because of my knowledge and the service I'm going to give you. You're not going to buy the car to see what you're going to get out of me or something. So I'm very strict of that with my customers as well. It's like, I'm good in my job, I know what I do, I've got my product knowledge, and you're buying this car from me because I'm good in what I'm doing.
And you know what you're selling.
Yes.
Absolutely. So obviously you've been nominated for the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, and you've accepted your nomination. How do you feel about that? And feel about the fact that a huge corporate like NID Bank has rallied behind us for the past 4 years to promote this initiative and platform.
It's a great honor, because sometimes it's you do this stuff, and I'm a very driven person, so for me it's like I'll get like an award for something, and then it's like, okay, I'm very hard on myself. It's like, okay, that's great, so what next? So and sometimes it's just nice to actually go sit and just to go realize over the years, what did you achieve? Because and it's like an honor to see, it's like somebody is recognizing that what you've been doing, because you just keep on going, you want to be the best, and you're getting all this stuff, and then it's like, what's next? And that comes from my mother. My mother used to be very like, okay, good, you got 80, let's see now if you can do better. So the whole time it's being like, when I walked into being sales manager, for me it was like important to get certain stuff, and we won for being the best improved dealer that year, the first year of being sales manager. So I was like, okay, great, we're on the right route, we're getting there. So I want to see change. And it's nice to get the recognition sometimes for that, because you just keep on pushing.
So Elizna, you're currently going through a tough patch in your life, and I don't know if can I mention it. You're going through cancer at the moment, and there's a lot of stories here, and I can't mention the other that I want to mention, but we will talk about that later in the year. But yes, it's because of Elizna we moved from our old studios. So, however, it's been a tough month for you. It's been a tough time. How do you find the motivation? Because you're always smiling. After our incident, you were back at work literally the next day or the day after. How do you find the motivation to just carry on?
I think I've got a great support system, and if it wasn't for my support system, I wouldn't made it. It's like, I mean, my mother was there, my friends are there, the people here at work, and everybody is like the whole time, are you okay, can we help? I was actually getting irritated at one stage because people's like, are you okay? And it's like, but I think there's just still so much that you can look at and realize. The fact is, I'm still alive and I can still do things, and I feel I still have a purpose, and I still want to become a DP. That is definitely what I'm working for next for, and I'm not ready to die yet until I haven't done it. So I'm working for what I want to achieve next in my life. So
you're just trying to keep the vision in front of you, and the aspirations and the dreams that you want to see, and try and cast out all the negative. Is that how you're trying to do this?
Yeah, and it's not like every day I'm on top of it. I mean, it's like I always tell my friends as well, if they're going through, it's like they always say tough times never last, but tough people do. So yes, I do get my days that I do wake up and I don't feel well, or I feel a bit down, and it's fine. I mean, take those days. Give yourself a day. I mean, I sometimes stay in bed, especially over a weekend. I just sleep, I recharge. But I know at the end of the day, when I walk in here, a customer deserves the best service.
Absolutely.
And I mean, they don't necessarily have to know everything. So you've got your small circle who knows how you feel, what you feel, but you have to keep pushing, and that's the only way you're going to get stronger and move on to the forward and to help somebody else again that is like yours. So
well, you are doing a great job. You are my inspiration as well. Like I said, the incident we've had, I think you are always on top of your game, because that was literally 5 minutes later when I saw you after the last incident, and you were just so positive in that space of time, and it was a very difficult, trying time that you had been going through. But Elizna, well done. Thank you so much for joining, contributing to our platform, and joining our network, and just being a part of what we are doing here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Elizna. And viewers, thank you so much for watching, commenting, and sharing our interviews and our content. Our non-profit company is the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, powered by MFC and Evo by NID Bank, and the Talk the Torque Studios, powered by Sariti Solutions, are aimed at recognizing and celebrating the women of motoring South Africa. We are not just telling stories, we are changing lives. Together, we aim to empower and uplift the women of our trade. And for those of you that are searching for your next ride, please visit www.otto.avo.africa. We have thousands of vehicles on sale for you to choose from, and we only advertise on behalf of reliable and trustworthy MFC accredited dealerships. This car listing portal is incredibly user-friendly, and you can also find vehicle reviews and car maintenance tips and advice, all courtesy of Talk the Torque Studios. Ladies, today I would like to talk to you about resilience, and I think this is such a suitable topic today because Elizna is one of the most resilient women that I've ever met. You may not necessarily achieve success immediately or on the first try, so it is so important to stay resilient. Resilience is the face of failures or obstacles, and it allows you to persevere and try again until you succeed. This is one of the most important traits that contribute to success because it keeps people from giving up on their goals. So stay strong, be resilient, and always remember that the question should never ever be who's going to let me. It should always be who's going to stop me.